Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another Insights Time webinar. I'm Rich Berrisford. This is Mike Boswell from Giant Finance Plus. I'm guessing you already knew that if you've logged into this webinar before. So thanks again for joining us. Today, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about credit insurance, credit risk, how it will affect recruitment agencies, just giving a bit of background on current state of the market and what steps you can take to, to mitigate the risk. And where best to go to do that. So, as I said, we'll be looking at why you need credit insurance, where to go, who sort of the big players are in the market, and how best to source it for a recruitment agency who may be small, starting out, looking for their first sort of policy. So, Mike, do you want to sort of kick off and give us a bit of sort of background about the state of play?
Yeah, the state of play, a little bit of background. I mean, I think, we all see in the papers, etc., but let's just put a little bit of context around that. COVID really is like a mini recession in itself. You won't need us to tell you that. But I mean, the feedback coming back from people like Allianz, which is, worldwide, one of the biggest credit insurers out in the marketplace, is that, insolvencies have increased by 100%, and in going into 2023, they think they'll increase by 19% again. So, it's time in the economic cycle to be really, really careful. Okay, so that order that you get that seems to be too good to be true, may well be too good to be true, because effectively they could be putting on stock by everyone else. You're then walking in, you're getting the order, and yet, they've actually haven't got the ability to pay you, etc. And, it doesn't matter whether you're a big organization. I know we've got people from large organizations on the webinar today through to small organizations. A sale is not complete until the money is in your bank account, absolutely in your bank account. Yeah. So, there's lots of companies going bust, a little bit of sector bias at the current point in time. Business to consumer is not good. Construction,
construction, healthcare, as well, wasn't there?
Transport, transport. They're the ones that they're saying are being biggest hit, and also it's a worldwide phenomenon as well. We're not the only one. Ukraine war and the increasing energy prices will see people have real problems. And I mentioned about COVID being almost like a mini recession. I think what we've got to remember is a lot of turnovers are bouncing back. It almost then creates a bit of over trading in itself. So effectively, it always has been and shown during recessions, actually more companies go bust coming out of recession than going in. So it really is time to be vigilant at the current point in time.
Yeah, and particularly with all the COVID support over the last 2 years, there'll be a lot of smaller businesses, especially, who have been effectively propped up for 12, 18 months by those bounce back loans and other things that are now starting to come back to be repaid, and that cycle's coming to an end. So there's going to be, an increase in insolvencies. Like Mike was saying, we're looking at potentially 20-25% more insolvencies this year on year, in the UK alone. And again, construction, health services, business, supply side services as well, are all going to be hit quite hard, according to the latest Allianz report. So something to be really conscious of. Like you said, Mike, if you've got that deal that looks too good to be true, it could well be they can't supply that anywhere else because they can't get insurance. They've got some bad sort of underlying figures that makes it difficult. So it's really, really important to do your homework there.
So there we go. We've given you the problem. So let's turn over to the solution, Rich. Yeah. So what's the solution?
Yeah, well, the solution is obviously get your credit protection insurance policy in place. Now, we're coming at this from a recruitment point of view. That's what we do at Giant Finance Plus. We do invoice factoring services for recruitment as well as the back office side. So we're talking payroll, credit control, online systems. But a big part of that as well is bad debt protection, credit protection insurance that we provide as standard to all of our finance customers. As a new start recruitment business, if we sort of take it from that point, you're going to be looking around at policies that may not really exist in the sort of the form that you need. You may well be struggling to find a policy for the sort of size business you are. Certain big insurance houses won't insure new companies for a
Yeah,
start.
definitely. There's new start agencies. They very often want to see a balance sheet. They want to see whole turnover, and by definition, as a new start agency, you can't get it. So actually, someone like ourselves could be a way that actually can mitigate that risk, because the reason why we insure is it protects you, it protects us, and so therefore we can be flexible around the level of turnover we do with each individual customer, but we want to see the majority of it covered with credit protection, and it's the answer. You know, it's expensive, and make no bones about that, it is expensive. Can you afford to insure? But then again, can you afford not to insure would be my argument, because we work on quite tight margins. We cannot afford to take bad debt. So therefore we invest very heavily in insurance. We take our insurance from SIFs. There's Allianz out there, there's Marsh, there's lots of suppliers out there you can shop around, and obviously get various levels of cover, like with all things. Like with any insurance, and as with any insurance, okay, you need to get proactive on it. It's like phoning up Direct Line and saying, I'm going to go out this afternoon and have a car crash. I want car insurance. Guess what? They will say no, because if you can see the problem coming,
it's already
the insurers will probably already know, and it's too late. So you do need to think, you know, right, let me get my book covered while it's in good shape, because if you're getting into bad shape, you will not get insurance cover.
And as we said, you know, we sort of structure our finance under what's called a bundled fee. So that includes that credit protection. You know, we wouldn't finance these invoices without that insurance in place. So we are establishing individual credit limits on each of our clients' end debtors to make sure that they're protected, but also that we as a lender are protected as well. And that really gives you the best deal, because we can buy in bulk effectively. That's kind of the I guess the sort of the same sort of the best way to describe it. We've got a line with our insurers that covers all of our clients. You don't have to negotiate with insurers. You can come to us, and we will provide that credit protection insurance for you. You know, Mike, you alluded to it. Do you want to trade with clients who are a high risk to you? Because if you haven't got that money in your bank, it's not a done deal. You haven't really made that sale. It's going to cost you money. So it's crucial to get that policy in place. And the best way to do it is through a funding company like GF Plus, who can provide that as a bundled service. You know, we mentioned at the top, what are the impacts of not having that insurance policy? Well, the impact ultimately could be your business. You know, you could lose that. You could lose your business because of a bad debt. You know, if you're running on tight margins and you're banking on certain clients, especially in, you know, what might be looked at as high risk sectors like construction, where there's the extended payment terms, and you know, these bigger end clients can run into difficulty almost by stealth, can't they? You know, there's been some high profile examples over the last few years of these huge clients that you think are too big to fail, but actually, you know, they just disappear overnight, and it leaves a sort of a wake of financial ruin from local suppliers. So it's really crucial to have those policies in place. And I guess, like we always say on these, speak to an expert. You know, we like to think we've got enough people in our team with the experience to give you the information you need and put these policies in place for you. So yeah, do your homework and speak to an expert.
And I'm sure a lot of you will be au fait with actually, you know, credit checking the customer before you start dealing with them. And this is the next level, where therefore you actually decide you need an insured limit before you do that. And that's what the way that we run our business, as Rich says, and I think that would be a good mantra for a lot of, you know, yourselves to run it. And even so, I know again, some of the people on the webinar work for very large organisations, and you know, they deem it might be the credit department that's stopping them doing the vast amount of trading that they want to do because they can only give them a certain credit limit. You know, it's the same discipline in a large company to a small company. And again, the stats are showing that small companies are getting squeezed very, very much. Rising energy increases, rising supply, you know, issues in the supply chain, etc. So, you know, time to have eyes in the back of your head to make sure that you come out of the recession. Because remember, what a recession will do is the people that are coming out the other end will actually be stronger and then go on to great things. So it may dent your profit margins in the short term, but stand you in very, very good stead for the future.
Yeah. Keep an eye on that cash flow, I guess, is the bottom line, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Well, look, lovely sunny day here in Cheltenham. We're in our new offices here. Okay, some serviced offices which we've just moved into. It's very bright out there. There is a terrace out there, and I promise you, it doesn't overlook the finishing post at Cheltenham. That's another story. We'll work up to that one. But look, just like to say thank you very much to everyone for dialing in. You know all our contact details. You'll get a copy of the presentation, etc. Any questions in regard to protecting your business, give us a call. We'll gladly help you out.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.